so we're going to finish strong, and then we're going to have, right after that, just a couple of closing comments, and we'll let you go. Just like any project, we're getting done early. We're ahead of schedule, right? Just like all the projects. But tonight we're going to be ahead of schedule, so that's good. So with that, let's have CCA Warren High School come out. Construction Careers Academy.
Paving installations in a rapidly growing south side, building new infrastructure to provide crucial services is becoming increasingly important. With that being said, this is the South Flores Police Substation. When debating on which project to choose, our team searched for one to provide an opportunity for creative and innovative design, while also maximizing the impact on our community. The South Flores Police Substation is located at 8801 South Flores Street in San Antonio, Texas. The site is in a semi-central area in San Antonio south side, maximizing the area covered by the police station. Furthermore, it is also notable that this substation is part of the San Antonio Fear-Free Environment Program, meaning that it allows for services catered to specific areas and communities within the south side. Our team's objective was to design a police substation that provides crucial services by creating a safe and sustainable environment for community engagement, enhancing the quality of life in San Antonio. Good evening, my name is Javier Ramirez, and I will be speaking for the architects here. Our site is located at 8801 South Flores Street, with the site being surrounded by residential housing to the south and west, and the Cincy Municipal Airport to the northeast. Abundant green spaces, as well as building setbacks, help mitigate noise pollution from the airport. Furthermore, the relative location of the airport meant that we had to be mindful of any kind of implied pollution which our site could potentially generate. Due to our site being vacant and the lack of aesthetics on existing substations, we had found ourselves experimenting with different architectural styles. After several proposals, our team ultimately designed an Art Deco approach for this project. We wanted to make sure that we had ample spaces for the substation for police officers working, while also having ample spaces open to the public. When situated in the police substation, we sought to dedicate sufficient space to our installations, while also preparing the unused portion of the site for future development by the City of San Antonio. As such, we opted to use the southern half of the site for the project. The substation was oriented towards true east, and it has entrances on the north and south sides of the developed area, both of which lead to public and secured parking. In the north portion, we have a refueling station for officers, as well as an isolated dumpster bay. The southern road continues straight, leaving it open for future expansion. The substation is composed of 2 floors, both of which are divided into public and private access areas. The building was designed to be as symmetrical as possible in order to facilitate movement within, as well as to simplify the design of the structural support system. The entirety of the building is designed with the central courtyard in mind, with both the second and first floors providing views below. The first floor has a lobby with a reception area to direct visitors. From the lobby, there is direct access to safe offices, simplifying our layout. On the south wing, we have our evidence room, patrol office, and a workroom. The north wing contains a gym, locker rooms, and training room. On the second floor, we have dedicated office spaces on both wings, which are connected by an open walkway. For this project, we learned that communication is essential to creating a cohesive design. Additionally, we learned the importance of creating a space that is functional and meet community needs. I will now pass it on to the interior design team.
Good evening, my name is Leslie Granillo, and I will be speaking on behalf of our interior design team. The first step in formulating the interior for the SAPD South Flores substation was to consider what materials would work best for our overall environment. Since there is an airport relatively close by, we had to consider the best way to mitigate any noise intrusion while still creating a comfortable space. By utilizing large windows within the interior of the facility, we were able to make the building feel more open and inviting, despite the majority of the building having smaller exterior windows. In areas that were able to have larger exterior windows, such as the lobby area, we utilized more luxurious materials and darker colors in order to enhance and stay true to the Art Deco style. Once we had these materials, the focus then shifted to creating an aesthetically pleasing and relaxing atmosphere within the more closed-off areas of the station. Utilizing light-colored walls allowed us to open up the space, making the office areas feel more comfortable for the working officials. Regarding the colors and patterns within the facility, we drew inspiration from the 1920s architectural style of Art Deco. Since there are very few surrounding structures, we had the freedom to make the substation extremely unique without having to worry about it fitting into the surrounding residential area. By using striking geometrical patterns throughout the facility, we created a bold yet comfortable atmosphere so that guests could feel welcome. In total, from taking on the challenge of designing the interior of the substation, we learned how to discern what materials work best for different situations, how to utilize functional materials in working spaces, and how to appeal to the public so that people would feel comfortable visiting our facility. Next, I will pass it on to the civil and structural engineering team.
Good evening. My name is Aiden Rohde, and I'll be speaking on behalf of our engineering team. Our team addressed both civil and structural engineering aspects of the South Flores Police Substation. Civil engineering focused on the integration of our design into the surrounding infrastructure, while structural engineering ensured the stability and integrity of our building. When designing the structural system, we adhere to established regulations by referencing industry codes such as the IBC, the AISC, and the ACI. To guarantee the stability of both floors, we use reinforced concrete for the building's foundation and structural steel for the second floor beams, roof trusses, and all columns throughout the facility. One of our greatest challenges was positioning structural components in a way that supported the building, while also preserving the flow of foot traffic and aesthetic vision, particularly around the second floor bridge. However, through some innovation and minor adjustments, we were able to maintain both functionality and design. We decided to use steel due to its exceptional strength and durability, both of which are essential when designing a building capable of supporting our dead and live loads. Dead loads refer to the static weight of the building materials and fixed equipment. For us, this was the solar panels and HVAC units throughout the facility. Live loads involve variable forces, including occupancy and environmental factors, and for us, this requires some predicting. When it came to the civil side of the project, we ensured proper integration by connecting to the nearby water, sewage, and electrical lines that surround the building. When designing the plan, we used Google Earth and maps to guide us as we drew out our exterior utilities and determined our elevations. Throughout this project, we learned to communicate, collaborate, and be reliable. It was through these qualities that we were able to develop a successful and functional design for the South Flores Police Substation. Thank you, and I will now pass it on to MEP.
We went through various intricate steps when designing the systems placed within the South Flores Police Substation. I will cover three major steps taken into the design when designing it. The first major step was the HVAC plan. First, we decided it would be best to use 3 RTUs per floor for ease of use and redundancy purposes. And from there, we drew out our diffusers per room and ventilation fans for specific rooms, such as restrooms, locker rooms, and narcotic storage. Then we drew on all of our ductwork, matched it with our RTU placement, and then we drafted it all into Revit. Then we could begin our second major step, which was the electrical plan and design. First, to start off our electrical plan, we figured out anywhere that we would need outlets and any sort of light fixture. Knowing that, we could plan out our total electrical demand and calculate our lumens per room. Then we drafted it all onto AutoCAD and that concluded our electrical plan. Then we began our third and final step, the plumbing plan. We first located any areas that would need any sort of plumbing fixtures, such as the restrooms and locker rooms, where we decided in total how many fixtures we would need per room and what sorts of water closets and lavatories we would even be using. Then we routed all of our plumbing and interconnected it and channeled it into our main service line. For the duration of this project, we learned things such as the importance of the RFI and how key it was for our team to understand what they needed to do, alongside managing the diversity of skill sets my team had to offer and the importance of information gathering and storage for my team. I will now pass it on to construction management.
Good evening, my name is Aiden Claver and I'll be speaking for the construction management group. Our group was responsible for illustrating, scheduling, and budgeting our project's construction process. Shown here above is our site logistics plan. After creating some initial drafts that emphasized safety and workflow, we recreated the site in AutoCAD and imported the plan into Bluebeam, transforming our crude hand sketches into a finalized construction document. After completing our site logistics plan, we broke into 2 groups to develop our project schedule and cost estimate simultaneously, simulating the delegation essential to the construction management field. The schedule group used a Gantt chart to illustrate the sequencing of tasks that go into a construction project from pre-construction to closeout. The budget group gathered material costs and counts from each of the other teams using programs like Revit and AutoCAD and came to an overall cost estimate of $15.9 million. Referencing the real City of San Antonio South Flores Police Substation budget of $19.5 million, it's safe to say we're well within budget. During this project, we definitely learned the value of communication between other teams and within our own. We had a few complications during the development process, but in the end, we all came together as a team and completed the project. Our mentors were very helpful in educating us about the construction process, and overall, we had a lot of fun creating the South Flores Police Substation. We'd like to thank our mentors for guiding us throughout this project. Over the past several months, we have poured our creativity and passion into crafting this state-of-the-art facility that meets the needs of our community and sets a new standard for excellence in public service installation. Thank you.
All right, let's turn it over to our panelists. George?
So the biggest thing that I liked about your presentation, I mean, the project's a great project and you did a really good job, but the biggest thing that I heard that I liked was every single one of you used the word communication. And communication is, in this industry and what we do for a living, communication is everything. If you don't do it, you're gonna fail. And that was, kudos to you guys for recognizing the importance of that and every one of you saying it. The other thing I really liked was the fact that you started off with hand sketches. I'm old school, and in my mind, everything starts on a piece of paper. And you started that way with your big picture ideas before diving down into computer to get it more detailed. So I really like that. So good job, guys.
All right, other questions, comments? Corey?
Hey, great project, guys. It's good work. Put a lot into it. What'd you do your fly through on? What programs did y'all use for that?
This was done in Lumion.
Lumion?
Lumion.
Lumion. Who's using it over here? Lumion? Okay. Last year we had Minecraft.
Question about the brickwork and the design on this. How did you guys work through that? Because that's a very prominent feature. And I'm not saying CADing it out, but the design of it. How did you guys land on that?
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, the brickwork. If I'm not mistaken, that's brick or stone, the masonry on it. How did you guys end up with the design of the masonry? Because it's quite significant and prominent.
Yeah, so when we're doing our research on the Art Deco style, we kind of gathered compiled a little database with a bunch of reference images. And we kind of just went through and started hand sketching all the features that we thought would look cool, to put it simply. And from those features that we thought would work best in this kind of situation, we all compiled them together and ended up with this final design.
Amy, anything? No? Impressive, yeah.
Very impressive, guys.
Josh, anything? All right, thumbs up. Let's give it up for CCA 1. Now you know why we wanted to finish with CCA 1, you know? Big crowd, finishing strong. Hey, let's just seemed like a few weeks